Did you know that Saudi Arabia has just unveiled an astonishing megaproject? Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has an extraordinary vision to construct two colossal skyscrapers, each towering 500 meters high, spanning a mind-boggling 170 kilometers across mountains and desert terrain. This ambitious project, known as the Mirror Line, is so massive that it's equivalent to erecting 2001 World Trade Centers, side by side, not once, but twice. To put this into perspective, only 12 skyscrapers worldwide have surpassed the 500-meter height mark, making the idea of building 4,000 of them simultaneously and in the same location seem absolutely outlandish. So why has Saudi Arabia embarked on this seemingly impossible endeavor? Is it a genuine plan, or are they aiming to capture global attention? Indeed, few countries in the world can boast of a transformation plan as audacious as Saudi Arabia's. Stay tuned to discover more about this incredible project and whether it can become a reality. Vision 2030. In 2016, Saudi Arabia introduced a plan called Vision 2030. The goal of this plan was to make the country less dependent on oil and focus on developing other areas like tourism and technology. As part of this vision, they introduced a grand scheme called Neom, which stands for New Future. Neom is set to be an ultra-modern smart city consisting of three enormous projects. The first part of Neom is an 8-sided industrial area that floats in the sea, known as the Octagon. It's designed to serve as a port for ships traveling through the Red Sea. Another exciting feature of the city is Broaden, a massive outdoor skiing destination located in the Arabian Peninsula. It's intended to be a place for entertainment and events that can be enjoyed all year long. But perhaps the most astonishing of all these projects is the Mirror Line. First announced in January 2021, this initiative is beyond extravagant. Recently, more details about the Mirror Line have emerged, and it's safe to say that calling it insane would be an understatement. The Mirror Line. The Mirror Line is quite unique. It consists of two very tall buildings, each 500 meters high, and they will stretch side by side for 170 kilometers across the desert. These two buildings will have mirrored outsides, and there will be just 200 meters of space in between them, where a city with 9 million residents will be situated. The city will begin at the coast of the Gulf of Aqaba in the Red Sea and go into the country, crossing through mountains and desert areas. The two mirrored sides will be connected by walkways. Most of the insides of these buildings will be constructed vertically, with public parks, offices, and homes stacked on top of one another. Essentially, they plan to put all the aspects of a regular city on top of each other. What's even more interesting is that they want it to be completely sustainable and use cutting-edge technology. People living inside will get their food from vertical farming integrated into the 500-meter-high walls. Additionally, the structure will have a marina for yachts and a sports stadium built up to 305 meters above the ground. Can they build it? But can they actually make it happen? Will it ever become real? Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince says the Mirror Line is a revolution in civilization, but it feels more like a gigantic dream from a fantasy book. Saudi Arabia wants to construct parts of it by 2030 and have over 1 million people move in. However, it's a huge promise in a very short time. Saudi Arabia hasn't had great success recently when building massive skyscrapers. For example, the Jeddah Tower, which was supposed to be the world's tallest building, is on hold and is only about 1/3 of its original proposed height. On the other hand, Saudi Arabia has the 4th tallest skyscraper in the world. The Mirror Line is completely different from anything built in history, but it's also like the ambitious plans for the Illinois building over 60 years ago. It was supposed to be a mile high, which was considered insane at the time. Like the Illinois, the Mirror Line might just remain on paper, or in this case, in 3D renderings and promotional videos. But this time, the whole world is watching, and around 50 million people have already seen one of their trailers. Are there other intentions? So why is Saudi Arabia suggesting something so remarkable when it's likely hard to achieve? Ever since Mohammed bin Salman took over running the country, Saudi Arabia has been working to change its image. Projects like the Mirror Line are part of this effort to change how the world sees them. They want to be known as a country with more to offer, and they aim to make their economy less reliant on oil. Right now, most people visit Saudi Arabia for religious pilgrimages. With huge announcements like the Mirror Line, Saudi Arabia wants to show a different side to the world. The project is also personally important to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who compares it to some of the Middle East's greatest megaprojects and calls the mirror line "My Pyramids." Neom is meant to become Saudi Arabia's unique architectural symbol, and revealing an incredible project in the middle of it builds excitement. Additionally, the Neom website says it's a vision of what a new future might look like. So it might also serve as a research project for new city designs and modern transportation ideas. Reactions and criticism. The mirror line announcement got Saudi Arabia a lot of international attention, but the responses haven't been very positive. They're planning to build a city with a completely sustainable transport system and zero emissions. However, they haven't mentioned the huge amount of carbon emissions this massive project will produce. Estimates say building the line could emit nearly 2 billion tons of CO2, which is more than the UK's CO2 emissions for over 4 years. Critics are also concerned about Saudi Arabia's human rights record. They're displacing indigenous tribes and have been accused of violence against protesters. The country hasn't fixed its labor issues either. This could make it hard to get the funding they need for the trillion-dollar project. Even with foreign help, the Mirror Line project is just too big to finish in the next few decades. And there's a big question about whether people would actually want to live there. So, for now, the Mirror Line seems more like a concept than a realistic project. Integrating some of these futuristic ideas into existing Saudi cities might be a more realistic approach. What are your thoughts on the Mirror Line? Do you think it could actually be built, or is it more like science fiction? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to Top Futuristic for more.